that is the image I had of him. The last image I had of him. Berjasa.
Okay, so Fizah, that girl who told you that she didn't want to see your face. So for 3 years, you actually spend your recess eating in the toilet. Yes. Did you inform anyone about it? Why are you laughing? You eat in the toilet.
Now that you hear it out loud, it's like somebody's telling you like, kau makan kat toilet. I don't know because okay, this is so weird. Maybe it's like my post-trauma punya response. Is it? Is it? I don't know, but I don't know. I think maybe because benda ni macam I've already, I mean, it's been years.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like 16. I'm like 38. Alamak, sekarang semua dah tahu. 12.
Yes, okay.
22 years ago. Mah. But yeah, I mean, like, I guess during that time, maybe of course, being impressionable, wanting to fit in, you know, wanting to be liked, you know, during that time. Mungkin it was hard lah. It was hard. It was like not understanding. Kenapa orang cakap pasal ni? Why is it? Why me? Why? Kenapa is it the way I look? And it's always the most ridiculous things. It's the way you look. It's like, oh, because you like to cut, you like to tie your hair, then take out and tie your hair again. So it's macam apa ni? Orang cakap pasal macam gini kan?
Was she a senior or?
No, wait. No, she wasn't even. She was my
classmate?
No, classmate. But it was my level.
Oh, okay.
Cuma, honestly, after that was the last year I was with him. Because the year after she left, she never came back to school. I also don't know. I don't know what happened. Maybe dengan kuasa Allah.
But for 3 years?
Yeah. I was eating in the toilet. No, but you have to understand. For the first year, it was because I was made to eat in the toilet because I cannot. She doesn't want to see me at the canteen, so I can't find myself anywhere near the canteen to eat. So I found myself eating in the toilet. But in the toilet, you have to understand also, if you saw the toilet, it's like you probably want to eat at that with me. Fizah, aku makan toilet dengan kau. No, because it was not so bad lah. I guess during that time to me it was that. It was a clean toilet. But somehow or rather, I don't know. Maybe it's something that growing up, I've always been exposed to situations where I am forced to make adaptable. So in that situation, for me, it's adaptable. Like, okay, I go here, I eat here. Okay lah, I go here, I eat here lah. And then for some reason, I guess when you are true to yourself, when you do things bukan untuk make people like you or whatever, people tend to just get attracted to you because like you are just being your own person, kan? So the beauty from that is having to experience that, and then suddenly a bunch of girls coming to me wanting to be friends.
Okay.
It's very interesting because it was like which I didn't expect.
Yeah.
But then there was this one girl, I remember her name. I'm not gonna say her name, but she was the first. She's like, you know what? She was like, merepek lah dia tu. Kau tahu apa pasal? She was the one who told me lah. She was like, aku tak suka kau sebab rambut kau gini-gini. And I'm like, why? She has a problem here because I keep tying my hair and putting my hair up again. So, macam tie, take out, something like that. And yeah, I have a pet peeve last time. I don't like it. My hair very pantang. So I will always ikat. Macam messy sikit je ikat, that kind. Yeah. So okay. So from then, surprisingly, while I was eating in the toilet for 3 years, so were these other girls. They joined me.
Wow.
They joined me. They sat with me, and then they ate with me in the toilet. And we laugh in the toilet. We do nonsensical things. Sometimes, of course, we take it outside the toilet lah. We go to the side of the corner. But it wasn't anything because it wasn't anymore because somebody said they didn't want to see me again.
Yeah.
It was now on us. You empower yourself. Yeah. Take it in and make it yours. So I think, as much as like I mentioned during that time too, it was eventful. And I think about that all the time. I mean, prior to that, I've had situations because that was a new school.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was when I was in Sec 2.
Yeah.
I went to a new school. But prior to that, I was from another school. That other school was worse. I had somebody say they want to throw acid in my face. I had occasions where someone told me, you better shut up, don't talk. Or because basically what she's trying to say, every time when I talk, I'm despicable. So for 6 months, I kept quiet. For 6 months, I never talked. I just kept quiet only. So I was with them, like, oh, okay, jalan sana, jalan sini. But
you still hung out with them?
Yeah, I hung out with them. I just never talked to them. I just never talked. And then I remember one of the girls came to me, wow, you're very good. People say don't talk, you really don't talk. And I think during that time, like I said, I just wanted to fit in. I always had this problem where I felt like I never fit. I don't fit in. I don't know whether people know this, but by IC, I'm Indian. I've always wanted to be a Malay girl. And I would go, you get like a form, they were like, I don't know why the form would say like your race, but somehow that form said race, and I would put Malay, and I feel guilty, like I just committed a crime or something. Like, I should have said Malay, I'm actually Indian.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be a Malay girl. I just wanted to fit in. I didn't understand culture. I didn't understand those things. I just know that, to be with the girls, I need to be like them. So I need to be with the Malay, Malay girls, I need to be Malay, for example.
Yeah.
And that pushed me to just doing stupid things like that lah. Like macam orang cakap jangan berbual, tak berbual. Orang cakap nak campak asyik ni, tak bilang orang, diam je.
But have you ever told anyone about the whole thing in the toilet?
Eventually, for the toilet one?
Yeah.
For the toilet one? No, I never told anyone. It only, surprisingly, this only came out, right? I think after filming Demi Adriana, I think the first person who asked me was, siapa tahu? I don't know, but okay, because we were filming with Taufik Batisa, then we were filming with Hishami. Hishami was from my school.
Oh, you're in the same school?
Yeah, we were in the same school. So that came about because of that. Somebody was asking, they was like, last time aku kena bully, and this story came out. Or else it was never something that I told anybody. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I guess macam you kind of get over it. But then after that, like when people talk, macam gini lah.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, kau makan kat toilet. Like macam I'm like, yeah. Like I found it very weird. Like macam masalah, like I guess I was over it. But the truth is, when you say it to someone, when someone says it out loud, it's actually, kau makan kat toilet?
Yeah. Okay, because why I ask? Because my perception of like secondary school toilets, right?
Yeah.
Or like school toilets.
Maybe the toilet. I know what you mean. Yeah.
They are not like Changi, Jewel level kind of toilet. You know what I mean? Like where
spray,
I don't mind
so
sleeping in the Jewel toilet. I don't. Yeah, but so like when I think back of my own secondary school toilet, I'm like, I go in and like wash hand also very fast, you know.
I want to go toilet. So like macam, kalau boleh tak nak go toilet here, right?
Correct. Like so the thought of you like
in that situation, right?
Eat.
Yeah.
There
Again, back to like my first, I said context, right? Like you need to look at the toilet first, and see what I was working with. Yeah. But I mean, talking about bullying, right? Especially in this time. Too many already. It's crazy. I'm really afraid for my children. Really afraid. And I think one of the things that recently I told my daughter, okay, I mean, this might sound bad lah, but recently she had problems with her maths, and I told her that you need to do better because we wanna make sure that you try your best. That I don't want you to just give up, and I don't want you to just give up just because you don't know you want to give up. I want you to try, because inshallah, if it's written for you that if it's your rizki to go to a good school, and alhamdulillah, because as much as possible, I don't want you to have gone through what I went through. I don't want you to meet all these girls who have no reason for no liking you, and then suddenly just bullying you for no reason and all those things. So like, concentrate on your work. I want you to concentrate on your school work. And then we had this conversation again and again and again. And it's because of that lah. It's because my fear for her is that, because if you know my daughter, she's very stoic. Like macam her reaction is always like macam muka dia macam okay, like and like maybe people won't understand. People think they're step. Yeah, which I got all the time last time.
Really?
Yeah, I got it all the time. Like, muka step. Oh my god, what is that word?
Wow, what a word? Step.
Yeah, step.
Word
you know what I mean?
say.
Like single step. So it's like I always worry. I mean, like with Sahara, with regards to bullying, and then now even more boys.
Yeah,
It's like
right.
the one that just came out.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And now I'm even more worried for my second one, because my second one pula is very Mama, he's soft-hearted,
okay.
he's soft-spoken, and sometimes I'll be like, Shibli, you gotta garang a bit. But that's the thing, see. I mean, I guess when we delve into the topic of bullying, I think a lot of parents out there, one of their biggest worries will be this. Their concern will be this. I'm sure you too, kan? It's about your children as well. Also, like, I mean, tak jauh pun our age group. So yeah, so macam, and then I'm thinking during that time tu, kalau mine was bad, sekarang is worse.
Yeah.
It's physical. They do things that is just beyond your own comprehension. Kids can do like that lah.
Correct.
Kids can become so violent lah.
Yeah. And it's worse because it's they have, their phones and
Correct.
they like to film it.
Yes, for some reason they
Yeah.
think it's a good idea to do that.
Good memory for them,
for
maybe.
them.
Yeah.
I
But
don't know, it's like a
it's-
go-to inspiration ke apa, I don't know.
And after that, it's all over social media.
Exactly.
And then,
So yeah lah. I mean, like when we talk about bullying and all that, right? I mean, as much as possible too. Sometimes it doesn't only affect. Sometimes people think it's only a physical thing, but it's also can contribute to mental issues as well.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Just as well on social media, and that's the thing. See, sometimes too, macam we know there's certain things that we cannot control because their exposure is their own. What they're going to learn is what they're going to learn when they're out there. Tau. But what we can only do is prepare them now, or build their foundation or their fundamentals enough for them to face it when they're there. But then itu easier said than done. Say it's only theory.
Yeah.
Dan bila kat luar tu macam mana?
Yeah.
That's always been a worry lah.
Yeah. And now that you mentioned the whole bullying issue, I mean, that's happening now.
Correct.
Yeah, we are so worried for our kids.
Yeah,
in all
exactly.
honesty, yeah. But my first son is, I think, similar to Shibli. He's very soft-spoken. In fact, he doesn't talk at all in school. He doesn't talk in school at all. But it's just his preference lah. He chooses to be alone. But it's because he isolates himself from, he chooses to isolate himself from people. I'm just worried
From
that
socializing.
Yeah, I'm just worried that
People would understand.
yeah, and then they take it as this boy.
Sombong, step.
So apa lagi, So I always tell him, it's okay lah. If you have the opportunity, go out.
Yeah.
If they ask you come play with us during recess, just go. And now that he's older, he keeps to himself even more.
More, yeah.
Yeah, which is so I always try and make it a habit to really, really
Talk to him, communicate, right?
And because I have 3 boys, right?
Yeah.
And having 3 of them talk at once, like cannot.
Yes.
So I will make it a habit to try and bring one out, just one-on-one, and really just encourage them to talk to us.
Yeah.
I think the more you let them be quiet and
yeah.
isolate themselves, I think
true.
they will feel more comfortable.
Yeah, not saying anything.
Yeah, not saying anything. Yeah. So I'm trying different ways lah. I'm also learning, as you said, and trying different ways to make them just be comfortable to speak up lah.
Yeah,
I think that's my biggest worry lah. Like
Yeah.
they hide things from us.
Yes,
and
yes.
then it's too late for us to step in. Yeah. So also there's something new that you shared with us earlier actually. You actually have imposter syndrome since young.
Now I'm battling with that.
Battling it, yeah.
Battling.
So could you share more about it?
I think-
Wait, what is imposter syndrome
so
for those that
basically,
don't know?
I don't know, like imposter syndrome technically is this this feeling like macam you, whatever you do, right, whatever that you've accomplished, you it's not you. It's like macam you never credit yourself for the hard work that you put in. You think it's just I don't know, no, it's not me lah. It's not. You feel like you are holding a position that you're not meant for.
Okay.
So I think this is very interesting also because I feel like coming out of a comfort zone is already feeling like an imposter syndrome for that matter. Okay, being in, let's talk about context right now. So like basically right now I'm a producer. I produce with my husband. We have a production house. We have produced a few shows, dramas, kids shows, reality shows and such. And we've done that together, all the time, and I especially appreciate the experience that I get per project. But I will always fight with myself, my inner self. I will have this inner struggle that will tell me like, what are you doing? What makes you think you know what you're doing? When you do all these things, where do you come off telling somebody like, hey, you do like this, do like this, do like that? You don't know what you're talking about. And this is something that I suffer from, like, and when I notice it more when I start doing this producing. It took me a very long time to even call myself a producer. You ask my husband. I'll be like, if anybody asks me before, I'll be like, oh, I'm just helping me. And I realized I don't know whether it's something that came because of my inability to, like when I was younger, right? I don't know whether it's something that is because I want to be something, but I'm always end up being something else. Macam if for example how to explain macam if I were to, for example I want to be a singer, for example, but I always end up co-acting pula, for example, or like it's something that I know macam I want to be a director, but then I end up acting. So I'm like, oh, okay, like and when I do acting, or when you say like, oh, I want awards and all those things, to me it's like, oh, okay, It's like it's not an accomplishment. To me, it's not that I'm looking down at it. It's not an accomplishment. It's not that. It's just that I don't accept it. It's something that I did. That is something that I'm skilled. So I'm also still battling with the concept. Like macam apa tu sebenarnya? Why is this feeling? Why am I feeling like that? Like sometimes like my husband knows when I'm already stuck. Like he knows when I'm hit with a sense of anxiety that I'll be crippled. And he can tell like, okay, I said cannot. I have to like pull myself back. I have to like sink at the corner of the couch, and then he'll just deal with the children, and he knows that it's because it's overwhelming for me, that kind of thing. So when I'm hit with those anxieties is when it's the impact of that feeling of always questioning myself, my lack of self-confidence for that matter, which a lot of people probably never know or never knew about. Because it's like, macam, I think surprisingly recently I was talking to a friend and she was asking me, what is the one thing kalau boleh you want to repair in your life? And I'm like, to be courageous. I said to be courageous, and she was like, I don't understand, like, you don't have courage. I'm like, yeah, I said I battle with courage all the time, like feeling that I can do something, because there's always a part of me that tells me no, cannot lah, apa ni, kau tak faham, kau tak tahu, for example. And then she was surprised because she was like, but you always come off like you know, like you can. And I guess I mask it a lot, like, so I won't. And then the people who are closest to me, like my husband, will be the one who knows that I'm like that. I don't think this is something even my mom knows or my brother knows, because it's very personal. It's very, very personal to me, and only people who've seen me in my darkest would know that I'm going through it. Yeah.
How have you been coping with it?
I don't know. I'm still trying to understand. Sometimes, I mean, honestly, on a religious level, I always find that zikir will help. I mean, like I have weekend classes with my auntie, and then we will do zikir together and all that, and that always takes you out of what is a reality to you right now. So by zikir, it helps you just focus, macam empty, macam to just like quieten this noise.
So in a way, that's kind of like demons.
It's almost like it's almost like that. And then I would have to say why I think that this is something that I've battled since I was a child, because I've always remember feeling this way, and I've always never had this self-confidence that people have always maybe portrayed as like, I'm, that kind of thing. But you know what helps? To be in an environment of comfort. Like, I know with people who are comforting, that I know these people is authentic, that I know, and then I can feel so macam like I will just literally like settle down, because I know these people come from a place of purity, macam gitu, macam when I know their hearts. So you kind of like can tell when like I say lah, macam when you're flying kan, there's sometimes a lot of like kan, it's so uncomfortable. Triggered?
Eat more? Because you always have to mask. I mean, like definitely flying during that time lah. Having to do that, having to put up with that. Me last time when I was flying during that time, when I come back from flights, right? And I will always have this like, okay, like, how's everything? And then he'll be like, can I have my wife back? And it's like an immediate, then I'll be like, oh, okay. And I don't understand why he would say that until I get home, I shower, then I come down, and I'm like, oh, okay. So it's conditioned. It's conditioned that I feel like I have to be a certain way maybe. And that's how I until now, that's how I've been addressing it. I feel like, okay, sebagai ni kau nak kena macam gini, jadi kau macam gini, macam gitulah, for example. But whether or not I believe in everything I say, sometimes that's questionable. Or like I believe that I deserve, that's all questionable. Okay, so I actually never really understood what imposter syndrome is. Until now, you explain it to me. So in my head, I always thought imposter syndrome is just you think you are someone but you're not.
But that's it.
But it is it lah.
It is. Is you
but
think you are someone.
Complex.
Yeah, it's complex because it's not about like pretending to be someone else though. It's about you. How to say, macam you are of this position but you feel like you're not deserving of being in that position.
Yes, okay. Now I get it. And Hilmi is aware. I mean, your husband is aware of.
I mean, he knows. He knows that I will start Like macam he knows lah. Then he will be like, can you like no, okay, like believe it happened, that this thing you can, but you know. And then this I think that's why I say like macam being in a comforting environment, feeling that I'm with somebody who I know I can
you're
completely be at ease with helps.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good that he's
helps.
aware and he's there and he's supporting you through it.
Correct.
Yeah. So speaking of which, for those of you who are not aware, Fizah is actually married to Helmindra, who is actually somewhere here lah. Don't want to say
under
lah,
the couch.
Yeah.
I'm aware, guys. I'm aware that you guys talking about
Yeah. So he's now a co-director lah, watching the monitor lah. Checking our angles.
Checking
yeah.
our
So yeah, Helmi actually
I'll wait for my responsibility. So I can.
yes, that's his voice,
Yes.
guys. Yeah, so Helmi actually did acting for a bit, but now he's mostly behind the camera. Literally. Yeah, and you guys have been married since 2011.
Yes,
Right, 2011, right? Yeah.
correct.
So, and both of you have actually been working together for a very long time. Right now, you run a production company
Yes.
called Apparatus.
Apparatus.
But before that, you actually ventured into F&B.
Yeah.
You had a cafe.
Oh,
Was it a
yes.
cafe or a restaurant?
Cafe.
Cafe, yeah?
Yeah.
Rouse.
Right.
Yeah, pronounce it
It was
right.
during the time when cafe
yes.
hopping was a thing.
Yes,
Right? It was like,
yes. So how do you think that experience change or help you in running this production company now?
Wow. The business aspect of it. Honestly, when we wanted to run Rouse, actually, Helmi should be sitting here.
Yeah, I can see he like very
He's waiting for
now.
He's trying to Bluetooth
Yeah,
information to me
yeah.
so that I can sampaikan.
He's like that, you know. Kasih aku mic sekarang. Sabar.
Okay. So the truth is, when we started with Rouse, Helmi, me and Helmi are both very different. He is the one, like when I talk about courage, that's him. That's him. So when we wanted to nak kena
Silence,
lah.
please.
Did you bring my coffee? But the truth is that he was the one that if anything I'm the one that would like, you sure not? If you want to do it I'm not sure about this. I'm worried. But he's always the one. No, let's try. Let's go. Come on, can. That's him. So that's the dynamics between the both of us. So when we opened Rouse the first time, of course, it came with my everything that like you can imagine the anxiety, the everything that I can. But at the same time, during that time we had no kids. So I was telling her, hey, you know what? Let's do it lah. You know, since no kids yet, couple kan. And then when that happened, we really got into the hang of it, like as in like business-wise, understanding the reality of it, the ups and downs, the oh my god, the wins and loss, and I think one of the things that taught us, we always talked about it, and we were like, oh, that's a very expensive education for the both of us in our own ways now.
Yeah.
And I think from that experience, we've come to terms with the fact that it's something that because during when we run Rouse, we already have our apparatus. We've already had apparatus, but we were working in smaller. Helmi was doing Helmi was doing tech, mostly, and edits. So even at Rouse itself, the first part was the cafe.
Yeah.
The second part was where we lived, and then the third part was where our studio is. Like not our studio, our office is.
Oh,
so we do our
there's 3
edits and
levels.
meetings. Yeah, we had 3 levels. So we were doing it concurrently, and if anything, with whatever happened to it, Rouse, we realized even more that we need to put our entire focus on apparatus, because while that was happening, with whatever that's happening to apparatus and so on and so forth, macam with whatever that's happening to Rouse and so on and so forth, apparatus is still running. And apparatus sometimes too, in when Rouse is having issues, apparatus yang campak like duit ke apa and everything tau. So we realised during that time it's so important for us to focus on apparatus right now. And at that time also I got pregnant. So when I got pregnant, things became a bit more complicated. Realised I have a child coming, more responsibilities, more things to account for. So we had to, and when they say like buka business tu memang susah. Tutup business is also another huge. And it really, I have to admit, for us, right? I mean, Alhamdulillah, sometimes I feel like macam we were probably paired together for a reason lah. But I think when it comes to arouse, one of the things that we realized was 100% commitment. It's more than 100%, actually 110, 120% commitment. Like, we need to have that. We cannot just macam, okay, I want to open a cafe, and then sorry, okay, you do run your thing. I'm just going to do my apparatus. And that doesn't work. It will never work. And I think maybe what we also came to realize is also like macam while closing tu, we realised, my goodness, macam actually ramai orang suka juga dengan makanan kita. Yeah, before we left tu, macam there were people kan yang alamak, sorry, tu macam kanyang kanyang gitu. There was a period of time people were emailing us, asking us for, can share your recipe, or you guys closing, I don't know where. Other than that, I'll be like, cannot lah, because also the recipe doesn't belong to us. It belongs to one of our family members who came up with the recipe for Rouse.
Oh, I thought the head chef was Helmindra.
No, for us, we kendali. Apa? Apa? Ya Allah, itu gitu. So but and then we realized, mashallah, like this community that we actually have built, I think that was the sad part as well, having to leave them. And then until now, some of it, like we actually found out one of our this couple we became friends with. We found out they actually got married, but that day they came to Rouse. It was the day that he also proposed to her. But we don't know them, And then only later, their child happens to be Shibli's best friend in second in childcare. And that's how we got to know. And she's like, we were at Rouse. And they actually took a picture and everything. We're like,
wow, it really goes back like.
Yeah, it really goes back. So those are the things, macam this kind of relationships, communities that were helped build, but we never saw it until later. And they would share, we love it, so kita suka sangat dengan that particular food item ke apa, and the space, and like, and sometimes we miss that, honestly. Sometimes we miss that. Until we will go to other cafes, I'll be like, this reminds me of Rouse. Remember this, I remember it reminds me of Rouse.
What was one of the most painful lessons you feel?
Oh my gosh. So one of the things that definitely with Rouse, when we were to close, we signed a 3-year contract. During that time, I don't understand what a term contract means. So we were closing after the 2nd year. So I had a 3rd year to fulfill, which I didn't know cannot be broken. So when we were talking to the landlord, we were like, hey, I've got 1 more year. Can we just and he goes, no, you can't. And then we're like, what do you mean we can't? It's a term contract. You need to, but how? I said, I'm closing the shop.
Yeah.
It would mean that we need to pay another 10,000 a month. Where am I going to get that money? And he goes, I don't know, we have to figure it out, but it's actually a contract. You still have 1 more year to term. So technically, I would have to set aside 120k just for rent if I couldn't find somebody to take over.
Yeah.
That was when both of us were like, oh my God, what in the world?
Yeah.
I mean, it really opened our eyes to how are we going to do this? And then I remember I was pregnant. I was like about 8 months plus. I was quite big. I went to seek legal counsel. Like I went to those free, go and meet a lawyer. And I remember the lawyer scolding me lah.
Oh no.
Like I was telling her this is my problem. She said, how can you not know? The contract already say it's a term, the contract. How can you never read first? Oh, kena marah. And I went there with one of my best friends. And I was so shocked because of what she told me. But it's true lah. Because what she was telling me was the truth. We didn't completely prepare ourselves. We were knowledgeable about it. And then I remember when we left, I cried and cried and cried. And I was telling my best friend, how do we do this? How am I going to do this? Aku dah ada anak. And I think if you a business owner, like I was saying, nak buka susah. Nak tutup it's not as easy as malas lah. Okay, bye. Stop. But I really, really, truly believe that whatever we do, yang dah tertulis, kalau kita ikhlas tu, that He will help you lah, no matter what. And I think that's what happened to us. They say macam with difficulty comes ease, right? I think that was our ease in such difficulty. For some reason, some guy came to our store and go, hey, you leaving ah? I thought we wanna take over your unit. I can go into expand more into this, but that is how crazy it was. Random, you know. But he actually had a unit sana on the other side
Yeah.
of Dunlop. So when this person came in, I said, "Oh, we don't want anything to do with routes. We
Yeah.
just want the space. We can leave the door and everything."
Yeah.
And he said, "Yeah, we'll just take everything with whatever you have here, blah blah blah." And then he just walked out. Then he took over the unit. And we had a month to have that sorted out.
Wow.
It's crazy. I tell you. I said macam sometimes the most important part of it is for you to realise that you are not in control. And only accept that whatever that you're going through is really a form of education. So what are you taking it from there? What are you taking from there?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was our experience. That was the most difficult.
I never knew that. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
that you
know.
shared.
Now you know. Yes.
Jangan band terbakar lah.
Huh?
Oh my god, band bakar pula.
We'll get there.
Oh,
and,
ada.
and then we'll have another chair here. Don't worry about it.
Kat sini.
It's coming.
Dekat tengah tau. Dekat tengah.
Kau duduk tu kat tengah. Tak boleh.
Kepala je.
Nanti aku set up lagi satu
Kamera
kamera.
tu kat sini.
Okay, so Fizah, for a lot of couples or families, right, it can be hard to separate personal and business.
Yep.
Like right now. Tiba.
Clingy.
Clingy lah. Bini dia kerja, dia pun nak ikut. Alamak. So how do you navigate, like
Wow.
how do you both navigate through it? You know, like
Wow.
is it possible to go home and not talk about work?
No.
Okay, there we go. That
Yeah.
answers the question.
And
That's
you've tuned into it.
And that's all for this episode.
Satu je.
So you really can't, right? You will always talk about work.
Yes. I think
Is it a
this
job
is a
hazard?
reality. You know, sometimes people talk about it and people like, oh, macam mana ni? You work together, then you talk about work, and you talk about work. Yeah, you do. Some people I've heard, they quit macam flying. They quit flying, then they have to stay home, and then they say I have to see my husband every day, and then they get very angry, and then they start fighting more and more and more. Surprising, eh? And she said, cannot lah, so she went back flying.
Wow.
I actually know of someone like that. Because you want to believe that there is such thing as work-life balance in that sense. You want to believe that, oh, you know what, 5 o'clock? No, Helmindra, shut up. Don't talk to me about work. You want to believe. Sama juga. Fizah, shut up. Talk to me about work. You want to believe that this thing is possible, but it's not. It is not possible. But it is how you want to see it lah. So I guess in our own way, when we have to talk about work, when it is something that needs to be had, we keep it short and concise. We keep it like, okay, sorry, I need to ask you about this. Okay, this thing, done, not done. Okay, we have to do this. Okay, done. Now let's talk about, hey, you know, yesterday I watched this show. Very funny.
Gossip apa lagi?
But I mean, it's the dynamics. I don't know to explain it tau. It's like, I mean, how do I tell somebody that me and Helmi, like our dates are sometimes in the car over eating like cakwe and soybean.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I am very blessed to be in such a situation because he's my best friend.
No.
Jangan nampu. Dia kata jangan nampu. Aku nak cakap pasal dia tak senyap.
Bestie.
Kan?
We actually have another couple here, married couple that's also working together on set.
Faham.
Yeah, so while they
Aku
work,
kata kita dudukkan kat sini.
after
Duduk kat tengah tau.
so sometimes their arguments is over the ISO and the sound level lah. That's the last line I heard just now. Huh?
But the truth is, like I say,
But beautiful shots come
yeah,
out.
it's okay, it's
So I'm
okay.
happy. Okay.
It's the after.
Love it.
The while happening, never mind.
Never mind.
Close ear.
So besides Helmi, bestie, being the man in your life, right?
Yes.
There's actually another man in your life that you actually don't post much, but you consider your inspiration.
Jadi mesti cari lama kan?
Yeah.
Norman.
You know what he's capable of, right?
Yeah.
Very scary sometimes.
2019.
Yeah. Correct. Yes, which is your father. Yeah. So I'm going to read this for you. So he
Okay.
once posted, my dad is hardly home since I was 11. But nonetheless, my dad has always been my idol, my hero. He might not be what one would typically consider an ideal dad, but he is awesome to me no less. And I have nothing but ultimate respect for his discipline and dedication and his sacrifices to bring us up however well he could. I see less of him the more I grow up, but my unwavering love for this man is like no other. Thank you, Papa. You have and will always be my inspiration.
Is this a birthday tribute?
Yes, it is.
Is it the one where he I posted.
Mama nak tengok tau.
Because there was one time I actually gave him a birthday tribute and he goes, thanks my son.
Oh, my son. That's right.
And I go, oh wow. Then he's like, oh, Fizah. Okay, but that happened. But that's why I say he's not the typical like what you would consider.
Understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how, I mean, you said you don't see him
As much.
yeah. So
So there was a period of time my dad works overseas. Actually, he's been working overseas since I was 11. And he would only be in Singapore like pockets of time. And really, I grew up not seeing him more often. But I think my mom has always said this about me. Every time when they have some kind of row argument then I'll be like, no lah, papa gini. And he'll be like, yelah. Engkau tak habis bapak kau. Kau selalu bapak side bapak kau. And I didn't never realise that it was just something that I was like with my dad. My mom used to tell me that growing up, my dad would be the one that sorts me out most of the time. And I think because of that, without unknowingly growing up, I just felt this certain pull to my father. I think one of the things that pulls me most about him is that he is not your conventional like a father who you can who will be so happy with all your friends, who can sit and joke and talk. He's not. He likes to be with him by himself. But I think the one thing that I have to be thankful for is him trying. And I cannot say the same for a lot of people. Because they sometimes have this thing where dah tak boleh jalan lah. My dad tries. And you know that he's in a discomforting position, but he tries. And all his life, all he does is just be there for his children. Sometimes he cannot be there physically, but he does everything in his power that he thinks that he can do for his children. And sometimes orang tak nampak tau. Orang will be like, tapi kau kat mana? Kau dah sejak 11 tahun dia ni tak ada. Dia grew up, kau tak ada. But it never mattered to me. Because I know that he's contributing to the family. Although it's not your way of understanding of how he is contributing to our family. And yeah, and I actually there are two people in my life whom I idolize. The living and the non-living lah. So the one that is living is my dad. The one that is non-living is my grandfather. My mom's father. He is the epitome of a good human being for me lah. But one of the things that I love so much about him is his authenticity. He loves his cucu, and we lived side by side. See, so me and my brother, our house was just beside my grandmother and my grandfather's house, Yayi's house. So every day I come back from school, I see him, and then he will be the one. He fixes everything in the house. Anything that's broken, he will fix. He is like MacGyver. Anything you need, he will do. He can draw, he can carve, he can do anything. But he always tell me, you want to draw, never draw anything with roh. Never draw anything with roh, with spirit.
Wow.
Yeah, he's very particular. So he will teach me how to draw plants, flowers, that kind. So there was even one time, my late grandmother's elder sister was confined to a wheelchair. And she lives on the first floor. And it's susah kan nak naik. So he saw that and he was sick. He was actually not well that day, that time. But he still went out of his way to build her a ramp outside his house. Yeah, he built her a ramp so that they can push her in with ease. And that is just how he is. Without people asking him, man, kau boleh? Tak ada.
Yeah.
Dekat luar dia. And that is the image I had of him. The last image I had of him. Berjasa. So as I grew older, I think without realizing it, because I see how he is of service, he's ready to be of service to people around him, that I always try to think like of ways that I could be of service to another. Sometimes the opportunities don't fall like that easy, macam. But it always hits me like wet. Like, macam, So I don't have like, when you say about idols, so interesting also because I don't really have idols like, you know, like Angelina Jolie ke Brad Pitt ke apa ke. I don't, because I feel like these real living idols have a better story. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that
Yes.
that side of, you know, your personal life that we.
Kau dah tisu korang semua dah.
Boleh.
Tau semua.
Kau nak lagi berapa kotak?
Kita cari sponsor.
I mean, this was one thing that Nurman and me were curious about lah. I mean, the part about your dad that you don't share as much. So it's really nice for you to share here, and we really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and also for sharing about your late grandfather as well. Yeah, and I think your stories have so much depth and meaning in it.
Mashallah.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna rewind this episode a lot. And decipher all the deep meanings. Yeah,
middle.
Really, I really appreciate it. So
thank you so much for giving me this opportunity as well to share.
no, not at all. Yeah, I actually have one more question and story that I wanted to select lah.
Okay.
It was about you know, the van explosion lah.
Maybe Helmi should sit here and talk about this.
Because Helmi is here
Oh my
already mah.
god.
But then the spider come out
Masih.
So then unfortunately we cannot talk about the van explosion. But our van exploded in Malacca. Long story short, what Helmi?
Long story short, kalau ada bateri yang tak boleh gerak, tak boleh pakai lagi, buang. Sila buang.
Okay.
Sila buang dalam sungai. Apa-apa. Jangan simpan dalam bateri.
Buang dalam sungai
Buang dalam sungai. Okay.
Yes. So Fizah, thank you so much for coming on board. And sorry to make you cry.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't expect that. Again, I was expecting to just be posh.
Posh and
I was supposed to be poised. Like,
Still
like,
poised now. Still very
Kau
poised.
betul tau. Aku macam satu hari pada tadi pagi macam pergolakan jiwa tu dah macam gini tau.
Pergolakan jiwa,
Pergolakan.
guys. Yeah. But thank you for sharing your
Thank you
stories.
so much.
We really appreciate it. And I learned something new today, which is Imposter Syndrome. Which is something that I see a word that is thrown around quite
a lot.
but to actually, you know, have someone talk about it and actually, you know, be.
I mean, of course, I'm
suffer
talking
from
about it not as a form of like I'm a professional like who can speak about it.
No, of course not. But you
I
are
feel
going
like
through
this is
it,
what I'm going through. Yeah.
So, and I think personal experiences are so much more powerful actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you so much for being open and sharing that part as well. Yeah.
Yes.
And all the bullying stories as well. So I hope that really will shed some
With
light.
that being said, also like, whoever is listening, your children got bullied, please, like, you know, I think most importantly is to build communication, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
It's so important to build communication with your children because you'll never know. They will never. Sometimes the older they get, they really do keep quiet.
Yeah.
They really do keep to themselves.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the best way.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing all your insights.
Yes.
And we look forward to having your husband in the next season.
Talking about the one that went away.
That's right. I still want to talk about that one incident. Yes. So thank you so much, Fizah. And of course, before we leave, we want to thank our official sponsor, Dapiku Sweets. And there's a very special discount code, especially for all the listeners and viewers of This Is. So do check out all the links in the description box and the discount code as well. And Fizah, do you have any last words or anything that you want to say or promote?
Promote? Oh, okay. Since this is the second season of The Is.
Is coming. This is season 45.
Watch out for more lah. Because just now I was asking.
You don't promote my show lah.
Oh, not promote.
Your
Promote my
own
show. Origin is coming on.
Gitu. This one coming out December So right. Origin. Original.
No, December.
December no more already.
April lah next year.
Oh,
This one coming April.
This one coming out December.
And then too late already lah. Then how to promote? Never mind. I promote
Okay.
myself.
I promote yourself.
Okay.
Your rates are.
Wow.
Fizah,
Yes.
before you go,
Wow.
of course, we have some goodies from our sponsor.
Wow.
So this is number one.
Oh, this is Dapiku Sweets.
Dapiku Sweets, that's right. And this is another
Oh
one.
my goodness, look at that. This
Oh.
mesti sedap, man.
Wait till you eat it.
Yeah, the chance like I'll probably eat half of it in the car. What's inside?
Can also. It's just
what?
after you open lah.
And then the box so
A
cute.
surprise of goodies.
Oh my.
Yes.
Yay, thank you.
So this is from our official sponsor. Posing there, camera. That's right. So thank you so much once again,
I love
Fizah.
the box.
And thank you everyone. And we will see you in the next episode of This Is. Bye. Thank you, Fizah. Hey, kau nak makan kan?
Nak.
Makan.
Aku nak buka ni.
This one very nice. Very nice.
Ni mana?
Yeah.
It's an assortment.
Yeah.